Welcome back to the Corporate Burnouts. Hey, Mandy, how are you?
So good. How are you?
I'm good. Tell me about Boston. You just had the longest vacation I've ever known you to take, and I want to hear all about it. Well, I've already heard about it, but I want to hear more with
Yes.
all of our friends.
Yes. So the Boston trip was kind of the trip of a lifetime kind of situation. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that sounds crazy, but um we usually don't take more than a week at a time because we have the kids every other week.
Hmm.
But we left a week before the kids and Anna and John, and we just met them in Boston, so we still had our time and it was good. But before we met them, as you guys know, we always go in the camper. And so we did our normal kind of trip. We went up to Niagara Falls, which was really cool.
The coolest videos.
Oh my gosh, they have this space where you can be in what it feels like to be in a freaking hurricane, almost blowing you off your feet. It's nuts. And so we did that. And then we went through upstate New York and Vermont and New Hampshire and Maine. And then we met them in Massachusetts. And we saw it was the perfect time if anyone's thinking of going and seeing all of the beautiful mountains up there. The leaves changing happened at least this year at the beginning of October, end of September. And so we got to see all of the beautiful colors and all of the beautiful sights, and it was incredible. And then we met them in Salem, and we had a day in Salem, which was really fun. All the witch stuff, and it's just a really cool feel there. It's like
Yeah.
a fun small town kind of situation. And this is obviously the time of year that most people go in October. And so it was crazy. There were people everywhere. So we saw lots of good stuff there. And then we went to Boston and Plymouth and, just all of the history type places, and it was amazing, and I love Boston. That's my favorite
Yeah.
city by far, and I knew that Dan would love it, and he loved it. He's like, "This is my favorite city too." We've talked about after the kids are, adults and doing their own thing, possibly living in the city for a couple of years, and I think it'll be that one. I haven't found one that
Yeah.
tops it yet. It's so clean and
Yeah.
safe, and
And
it's full of
still, but, like,
history.
old at the same time where you're like, "Ha I don't know." Yeah,
I just
I've
love it.
been, and Boston is magical. Salem, though, was very interesting. I did Salem on Halloween.
On Halloween.
On
Wow.
Halloween, yeah. So, I don't know what I pictured it to be, but it was nothing like what I would have expected, but you're right, it was crawling with about a bajillion people walking through the streets and all the Halloween costumes and everybody dressed up like it. They really went overboard with it. So I'm excited that you guys got to experience it and really jealous of your like road trip through all of New England. Like that's
Yeah.
freaking
It was
incredible.
it was really, really cool, and, this was the first trip that I've been on because we don't consider what we do vacationing. Usually,
Hmm.
like, we work in the camper and and then go find something to do in the afternoon every day, but I pretty much took off. I probably worked 5 hours or so that week, which felt like such a
Proud of you.
yeah, it felt insurmountable so many times, like to ever be able to have a full vacation as a business owner, and that was phenomenal to really be able to focus, and
Just
we just had so
disconnect a
many.
little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was vacationing a little bit different than we usually do, where we had appointments to go to, like, we went to Fenway Park, which I've been to a game there, but I've never taken a tour, so it was really cool to do that. I think that they did that just for me. I don't think that they were, like, super excited to do that, but everyone thought it was cool, obviously,
Yeah.
because it's a cool stadium with lots of great history. But it's like, usually I wouldn't be able to do that because I can't be going at 9 a.m. I need to be working for a while before, like, so I made that a priority, and I'm so glad. It's uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable for me to do that. It makes me feel like I'm not, running my business, but I am glad that I made it a priority to do
I
that.
am too. I think that it's good for your soul even when you don't think you can make yourself do it and you needed it for sure.
Yeah.
Well, my world, while you were out gallivanting across the Northeast, looked a little bit different. Peyton had ACL reconstruction surgery, and so I've been a slave to a 15-year-old for a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
She is now um, cleared with her post-op appointment. Everything's looking good. We're in physical therapy. She's back to school, but it's still very much like last night. I'll give you. Actually, it wasn't last night. It was the night before last. She was like, "Can you come tuck me in?" I was like, "You're 15. Like, what?" She's like, "Yeah. Yeah, but you've been doing it for a couple of weeks now, and I kinda like it." I'm like, "Oh my god. Do you wanna, like, say our prayers on the side of the bed too?" Like, what
Yes. She's like,
she's
"I can't kneel on the side of the bed right now, mom."
just loving all of the, like, very personalized attention. I've gotten a lot of really great time with her. That has been good, but it's been exhausting too because, a sweet girl can't take a shower by herself. You can't like sit down on the toilet by herself. She needs somebody to brace. It's been a lot, but it kind of made me miss having babies in a weird way. Really necessarily want to go back there, but it
You
was
wanna
like
start over?
my kids haven't needed me like that in such a long time that it's like kind of reawoken a different aspect of who I am, who I have been, you know? So, that part was really cool.
Yeah. And during that, your whole life changed too. I feel like you got some of your happy back this past couple of
Yeah,
weeks.
it's been, it's very unexpected. I will say the beginning of new relationships is always like, it's always like that warm and fuzzy, like, ooh, excitement or whatever, but this thing just kind of came out of nowhere, strangely, with someone that I've known for a long time. I say I've known him, I haven't, like, known him, but, like, he's been around. So it wasn't new. My kids already know him, very well connected in my life, so it's like, "Okay, we'll see where this goes," and it's really kinda wild, especially with you being out of town. It's like, these are the things that I would normally be, like, play by play in the moment, like, "Okay, Mandy, let's talk about this aspect of things," like, 'cause, you second guess yourself and things, and
Mhm.
you are my unofficial, unpaid therapist. But, yeah, it's been really good. I feel like I had, like, 3 months worth of download to give you, and it only been a couple of weeks, so I'm
It was so
excited.
fun. It was so fun to hear. When you
Yeah,
know, you
it's
know. I love
yeah,
it.
I love that. It's funny that you say that because, with all the Life of the Showgirl stuff out,
Mhm.
Taylor's everywhere, and of course, I'm never
Yeah,
gonna
that
skip a
all
video.
happened during this 2 weeks
Yeah,
also. It was so
yeah,
fun.
so I'm not gonna skip those videos, but, with her talking about her relationship with Travis and some of the questions that she got in some interviews, one of the things that she said was like, "I didn't really get it when people would say, like, 'When you know,' because when you don't know," right? And I was like,
It's like you're kinda
"Huh."
confused when you don't know, you know?
Yeah, and it's like, with most new relationships or whatever, you're like, "Oh, I don't know, we'll see where it goes." And like this time, I'm like, "I think I'm getting married." Like, probably not tomorrow, but like, it's like how within 2 weeks am I like, "This is good good." I wasn't looking for
That's
this, but this is what I'm looking
Mhm.
for.
Yeah,
So, I
but
don't
that's
I don't know.
exactly what it's really hard to tell other people because I didn't have a when you know situation until I was basically 40 years old, and then I'm like,
Yep.
"No, but when you know," and when someone hasn't already had that situation before, they're like, "Whatever," and it feels kinda braggy
'Cause
about your
you don't believe
relationship.
it. Yeah.
No, it's kinda like, "Whatever," but it's really fun to have you, like, say that back to me, and I'm like, "I told you. I told you when you
Yeah.
know,"
You did. You did. More to
That's
come,
fun.
I'm sure,
Yes.
because I'm a little smitten kitten over here, and I'm not upset about it.
No, I am definitely not upset about it, and it's so fun. It's so fun to see the real smile back. If you're not on YouTube, watch some videos from a couple months ago and then now, and you're like, "Why
Oh,
is she
so
so
that's what we're gonna do, we're
smiley?"
gonna compare, like, the fake smile Mandy with the, she found something that makes her happy. That's alright, go ahead,
And
pick me apart.
happiness does not always and definitely doesn't need to come from a relationship or a man,
No.
but it's the growth of something, right? And that's why I always tell people, I'm like, when you are having a hard time, when you are not feeling motivated, when you are, it's like you have to dig into something that you're passionate about and go do something new. Like it helps me so much to be able to do that. Did you drip on
I
yourself?
definitely did,
I'm like, why is she looking at me like that?
'cause
Like
I
there's
have
an
juice
inside
running
joke.
down my chin. I'll not be cutting that out.
No,
This is for
that's
your
fine.
viewing
Leave
pleasure.
it. Leave it. But when you really focus in on something new, whether it's a relationship, whether it's a fun project, whether
Yeah,
it's, throwing yourself outside of your comfort zone and focusing everything that you have on something new, that is
yeah.
what always helps me out of those little bit lower times.
Yeah, the funk that you get in,
Mhm.
and just
Yeah.
something to be inspired by.
Yes,
I think my
it
favorite
is.
part of this is kinda just talking through just, like, without worry whatsoever of, like, the person that you are and the goals that you have in your life and, like, all the things, that's fine, but, like, I am looking at just myself. This is who I am, and I have found her back. Like, I remember me. This is what I want. This is what I want my life to look like. And to be able to have those conversations and they just like fully sync up and we're both sitting here going like, did this just happen? Like, so that's really exciting and it really inspiring in a way of like getting to look forward to something that I can't say I wasn't already looking forward to, but like when you don't know what the future holds, it can either look like a big black hole of scary or it's like this big beautiful possibility, right? But for a long time, it's kind of been this, like, big unknown void, and then you put out into the universe, "This is what I want it to look like," and it just throws somebody in your little messenger inbox, and you
Mhm.
go, "Oh, hey, thanks, universe. Thank you,
Yes.
Lord. You just threw
Well,
something my direction."
and I think that this kind of leads into the conversation that we want to have today. I feel like you were to a point where you were feeling fine. I'm fine. Everything's fine, right? I'm not sad. I'm just fine. Things aren't good, they're not bad. It's fine. And I think that we run into that a lot
And I
at
wasn't
work.
looking for it to be anything more than fine, and
Right.
that's the thing, that's the comfort zone. I
Mhm.
found the easy button
Mhm. Yep.
and was just smooth sailing.
Yeah, no complications, no disappointments, no, big happy either, but this felt good enough, right? Good enough for right now, and I think that this happens a lot at work as well, in relationships and at work. I mean, where you're like, "It's fine," and then you stay, and you keep staying, and then you stay, and then you stay some more, and then you are going nowhere, right? There's no way that you're gonna grow, there's no way that you're gonna get happier, you're just gonna be fine. And if anyone has ever sat in fine for a long period of time because 'cause they're scared of it could be a lot better, but most people are scared that it's probably gonna be a little bit worse.
Yeah, because the odds are there's just as much possibility that, whether it's in a relationship or in a job or whatever that scenario is, if you let go of what you currently have to go find something that's hopefully better, there's also a good chance that you're going to go find something that's different but not as good. And it's risky. And that risk, I think people stay in that comfort zone for the control of it all. And there's a picture that I used to see, scrolling on the old face space, and it's a picture of a little girl looking at Jesus, and she doesn't wanna give Jesus her little teddy bear because it's her favorite, but what she doesn't see is the ginormous teddy bear that he has behind his back waiting to give it to her, and it's like, if you would just relinquish this fine, you could have exactly what it is that you really wanted. You just have the faith. You have to have the faith and the courage and the bravery to be willing to give up that,
Yeah,
"Meh,
trade up,
it's
but
okay."
you don't
Yeah.
know for sure if you're gonna trade up or trade
Yeah.
down.
Yeah, but that's what
No,
faith looks
that's
like. That's what courage looks like.
the perfect analogy and picture of what we're talking about today, which is
Mhm.
getting out of your comfort zone so that you can grow. Your comfort zone just lies to you all
It
day.
does. It does. It's a big illusion. It's an illusion of safety, but what that really means is complacency. And I like, don't get me wrong, I wanna be comfortable. I'm wearing stretchy shorts. I
Yeah.
sometimes take my laptop to the bedroom and work from my bed. Like,
Mhm.
I'm not I'm not dissing comfort by any stretch, but at the same time, like, I can tell you that if I'm doing work or tasks in life or whatever that are not inspiring anymore, that are not making me grow, it gets really hard to stay engaged and stay really excited. So it's the times that we have new opportunities, the things that are gonna make you stretch, the things that are gonna really put you out there that if I'm learning something new, that's gonna be a complete game changer for me.
Mhm.
But it is
Yeah.
really uncomfortable at the same time.
So, I started this business in 2021. We were in a situation at work where things were not growing.
Yeah,
Like, it was no one ever said you're lucky to still have a job. No one said that,
right.
but it felt implied because restaurants specifically kind of shut down and then came back to life, but in a different way after COVID. And I was like, I am not growing. I, in fact, feel like I'm shrinking, but I've been here because I make good money. I
Mhm.
have health insurance. I am comfortable in this because I am single with a mortgage and all of my other bills. I can't just like this there's this safety net here of this job and I felt really safe in it. It was
But you also felt trapped in that safety
Mhm.
net
Yeah,
because it was
like
almost too safe.
yep, but that's the illusion of safety can keep you complacent and not allow you to grow. And that's where I am glad that I also was made uncomfortable in another way where it was like, you can either go here or here and the money's not going to be better. And I'm like, so that makes me a little bit uncomfortable. I am going to leap and do something, I was not feeling happy and I started to do projects to start this business to bring some happy into my life. And I was like, I have to not let this illusion of
Yeah.
safety hold me here where there's no growth at this point. There was no growth at
Yeah.
that point. And obviously it opened back up and there was growth for people in our job, but I was not in a place of that at that time because there was no growth happening because everyone was trying to get back on their feet. So, I'm glad that I pushed myself to jump at that time, but I had felt pretty safe, and so it wasn't easy, but so many people when they're feeling safe and or kind of scared of losing that safety net, they stay in a
Well, I was
place
about to
that they're not
say, and
into.
I'm glad you said that because I think fear, and we've had this conversation on several episodes, but fear is a motherfucker. Like,
Mhm,
and it will strip you of the confidence to do the things that you want to do if you lean into that. But like, if you don't have that, like, you can let fear be the thing that stops you, or you can look at it for what it is and let that thing be what propels you into what comes next because it should be what shines a light on something new. It's a challenge. It's gonna be like it should illuminate the path rather than shut the door upon it.
mhm, and again, it's not in everybody's nature to
Yeah,
power through that because the comfort zone is such a comfortable place,
yeah. I
right?
don't think it's human nature to lean into that. I think that's something that you have to do consciously, and you have to, like, actually force yourself through it to and create that as a habit, right? Like, it's not something that comes naturally, it's something you have to teach yourself.
Yeah. So I'd like to talk about growth and fear, all right? Because they always arrive together.
Mhm.
Have you noticed that?
Yeah, every
So
single time, and sometimes it's exciting and sometimes it's, like, paralyzing.
when we are in our comfort zone, but we still want to grow, it's going to be scary. And I always tell everyone, I'm like, when I start a new job, even when I start something within this business that's new to me, I feel stupid. I feel scared. I feel like an imposter. I feel like I'm not good enough. And it takes a little while because the comfort zone is a great place to feel really confident
Mhm.
because you're so good at it. You've been doing it
Yeah.
forever.
And nobody wants to suck,
No,
but you have to
nobody
suck.
wants to suck.
Everybody sucks when they start, though. That's the thing. You have to wrap your head around that. It's okay.
Hmm. When you do something new, yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. It's always going to be a thing. And so when you think of it as if it scares me, there might be growth in the end.
Yeah.
I can go a couple of different ways. If snakes scare me, could I grow from it?
Only if
From
you wanna
being
own a snake, but,
yeah,
like,
but no, I think it just creates more trauma
yeah, I'm gonna
to
throw you in a
to
bathtub
throw
full of snakes for what?
no, that
No.
doesn't help me grow. But if it's I want to speak in front of people, okay?
Yeah.
That does help me grow. Me speaking in front of
And it's
people,
still scary.
it's still scary, but it's something that you can work through, get to the other side, and there's value in it.
Yeah. It's a skill
Because they
set.
always say, face your fears. Some fears are worth facing. Some
Mhm.
fears, like snakes, to me, are not worth facing. I don't see how it helps me grow. But getting up in front of people over and over and over, even though it's so uncomfortable and so scary, and there's so much imposter syndrome in it, I grow every single time. And this
Yeah.
business has grown so much from me getting in front of people. Last night I did a social media class and it's nothing. It's nothing to me. But at one time, it would have been insurmountable to be in that situation.
It's so cool to have known you at the beginning of this journey especially when it comes specifically to like public speaking and to where you are now leaning into it wholeheartedly, like still not your favorite thing to do, but like you're not running from it. You're not backing down from it. And you are light years better at it now than you were when you started, and like it's really cool because what I can see from the outside looking into that, I see the bravery, I see the courage, I see the confidence that grows every single time that you do it, and that changes that changes everything.
It
Because
does.
when you're facing your fears over and over and over and you're gaining that little bits of confidence, like after a while, it's, like, not that scary anymore because I know I can do it because I've done it a million times.
Well, what I love the most about it in these kind of scenarios like public speaking, I think that
Mhm.
that's something that probably a lot of people relate to, of being really uncomfortable doing that, is that I was very scared of it. Like, I would black out.
Yeah,
Afterwards, I would be like, "How did that go?" And they'd be like, "This," and, "Do you remember this?" And I'm like, "No.
yeah,
I don't remember. I can't tell you what my filler words were because I wasn't actually there."
yeah.
And
I used to do the same thing. I'd be like, "How
mhm.
was that?" Because I don't know. Or
No,
when
no
people would
idea.
say like, "Oh my gosh, you are so passionate about your job, like, you must really love what you do," and I'm like, "Yeah, I do, but why what do you mean?" They're
What
like,
made you
"Oh,
say
you just
that?
went," and I'm like, "Oh, man, I blacked out for the last hour. What did we" I was on autopilot.
Right, and luckily, you knew what you were talking about
Thank
and
God.
you could do it. But when we do things like this over and over, where it's so uncomfortable every single time, you start to look forward to that because afterwards, you get great feedback, you are better, you start to remember what you said, and you're like, "Whoa,
Mhm.
what a milestone." It became something that I looked forward to, all those LSM-1 workshops and any time that I was speaking in front of people because every single time I got a little bit better. So now I'm building
Yeah.
my confidence. Afterwards, I felt confident and I knew that I wasn't all the way there. I'm still not all the way there. I still have a lot of things to work on, but I love to learn and grow. And I continue to find things that make it more comfortable for me to do that. because I engage the audience more or I do the research, whatever it is. I think that if you are in a situation where you're trying to get out of your comfort zone and you're trying to get all over something that makes you really uncomfortable, but you know will help you grow or your business grow or your career grow, keep on it and it'll start to feel more comfortable and you'll start to get addicted to that feeling of the growth and not the feeling of the fear. I never liked that and I still had it for quite some time, but you get addicted to it and you push yourself to do it. And so I love that part.
Yeah, I think that you're right. It does get addicting, and I think about that in the way of, like, people who get addicted to, like, working out. Working
Mhm.
out sucks, right? Like, you
Yeah,
go in there and it hurts, it doesn't feel good, but in order to grow, in order to get any results in there, you it has to hurt, and after a while, when you do that and you start to see the results, that's what gets addicting, and all of the rest of it is not a big deal because every time you got back up in front of a crowd and it didn't kill you, you were retraining your nervous system that this is actually a positive thing. Something good is coming out of that. So it reinforces that this is a safe place to be to your body, to your mind, to where the effects of the fear don't have the same hold on you anymore.
but your nervous system tells you that when something scares you and we were trained as children, when something scares you, stop.
Yeah, that's a
Stop,
closed
that's
door. We
bad
don't
for
yeah.
you. And really fear needs to be I mean, if the fear can lead to growth,
Yes,
okay,
in the right
then it means go.
scenarios. Yeah. The clown with the balloon in the
Yeah,
gutter, no, that's not the right kind.
that doesn't help you grow,
No.
no, and the van with the candy,
Yeah,
that's
no. That's
yeah,
scary
we
for a reason.
mhm, yep, but if it's scary and you watch so many people do it and be successful and not die, right, and then you go, "That's scary to me, but I should do it," that's huge, that's huge. So something that you and I have been talking about and I want to share is we both have a never list, a list of things that we're never going to do. Okay. We have different things on those lists and for very different reasons. My never list is kind of small
Yeah,
because I've changed so much in the last 25 years since high school. Do you know that we graduated 25 years ago?
I feel like that was rude that you said out loud.
I just got saw something on Facebook from my class saying, should we
Listen,
have our thing in the spring or
yeah, like I earned every last one, so I'm not really worried about people finding out that we're 42 years old.
yes. But in the last 25 years, I have changed so drastically that things that I said I would never do, there's 18-year-old me. I'm getting close so you can hear me.
Yeah.
18-year-old me would never do a podcast. Would never.
Never.
Never. No.
No. This is
And
too vulnerable.
yes, it's vulnerable. It is I am the center. I mean, 50% of the center of attention of anybody who's listening to this.
I don't care about that. I was a cheerleader. I was like, "Ooh, look at me." That
Well,
part doesn't
so
bother me.
we are different about that. I hate the sound of my voice. I think that a lot of people relate to that.
Mhm.
I would have never spoke into a microphone. Never. Right? So there were so many things that and it wasn't just insecurities, it was like deep rooted fear of all of those things, and I can't even imagine if I told 18-year-old me that I was gonna be doing this, they'd be like, "Fuck yourself,
Yeah.
that's not happening."
Yeah, and we're gonna turn left here. I'm
Yes.
not going down that road.
So, I have a big list of never say never things because I have changed so much, I don't know what I'm gonna be like. I
Yeah.
know that there are things on the never list, like the bathtub full of snakes. That's never going to happen. I don't want to change in that way to get comfortable with that. That's never going to be something that I want to do. On my never list is to go back to corporate. I love it so much here.
Yeah. It's very interesting because I'm right there with you. Like, I don't wanna go
Mhm,
back either, but
mhm.
that's more on my never say never list. I am not like, it's not a absolutely not never for me. It's a, oh my God, if I were going to do that again, I would do it so completely differently. And I don't even know that I have the capacity or like the capability to do it the way that I now see that it could have been better for me, but I wouldn't do it the way that I did it before. I lost too much of myself.
Yep. But the never say never list. So I want to tell you a story about when we started the never say never list. So I lived in Newtown, St. Charles, and everyone who I would see that I knew from previous to that would say, "Oh, there's a lot of swingers there." And I'm like, "Maybe. I don't
Yeah.
know them." Like no one's asked me to swing.
Yeah.
And I remember sitting at that
I can't
table.
wait till you say, never say never.
Well, so it was a situation where I was sitting there with friends, and one of them was like, "I don't know. I might be into that." And I'm like, "I am not into that at this time." But I would never say never to that because I don't know what I'm gonna be like in 20 years,
Yeah, I mean, who knows? I
you
can't
know?
imagine a time where that's gonna be okay with me.
No, but we laughed so hard, and I was like, I'm gonna start this never say never list, and I'm going to start adding things to it. It does not mean that it's something that I'm actively wanting to try at
Right?
all. I
At
am
all.
I am a very monogamous
Hey,
person. That's
Dan, I think I know what you can get Mandy for Christmas.
no. And the thing is that a very, very monogamous person. I have
Uh-huh.
never wanted to be outside of my relationship in any way. But just life changes. People change.
Yeah.
And it was a joke. The never say never on that was a joke. But it started this list that I put things on where I'm like, I I never said never to zip lining. Tanner talked me into that. I went. I won't do it again because it didn't help me grow. It just made me terrified for 2 hours. But it was facing a fear. It was being very uncomfortable. It was launching me outside
Yeah.
of my comfort zone, but it was always on my never say never list. And now it's moved to my never again list, I guess
Yeah.
we'll say. But
We have
I
all
think
kinds of lists going now.
yeah, but I think that everybody needs to figure out what those things are. What's on your never say never list? It's definitely more of a not right now list.
Yeah.
And what could
It's just about
be
being open to possibilities
yes,
and
open to the
letting yourself
possibilities.
grow to a place where, I don't know, right now that's not what I'm into, but maybe I'll want to go skydiving or maybe I'll like if the opportunity would arise, I'm open to consider.
Yeah, and it's even about starting your own business. Like, I would have said, "Never say never," about that 10 years ago, and I went and did it, because it moved
Yeah.
over to the, "Let's see if we can make this freaking work" list,
Yeah.
and let's see if I can shove myself out of this comfort zone that I'm in to make it work. So, I encourage everybody to make that never say never list and see what comes to the top of it that you might want to start to focus on and
Yeah.
see if you can get yourself a little bit out there
And just
because
inspired by something
mhm,
new.
mhm, yep, yep,
I would agree. I think we stay stuck in where we're at in that complacency, that comfort zone that we've been talking about as much out of a fear of failure as a fear of success, though. Like, and going back to, 18-year-old Mandy would have never hosted a podcast. I can relate. I don't think that I would have either. I don't know that I would have thought, I wouldn't have had the confidence that I had enough to say, enough to like value to bring to the table on that. But like, I can remember having the thoughts of when we were actually starting this, like, I'm excited about learning, I'm excited about growing. We are having conversations on this podcast that we have normally in our everyday lives anyway, so that part's not scary to me. But, like, what happens if this thing were to really take off, right? What happens if this is the next Girls Gotta Eat or Call Her Daddy or some of these big things where I'm like, "Oh, it is scary to think about how success in one avenue of your life has the power to change your identity." And that just had to be something that I was like, well, I'm still going to grow. I'm still going to have these really great conversations that I'm going to have anyway. And I'm just going to experience it. And if that's what happens, like, you just have to remind yourself that you are always in the driver's seat of your own life. And if you're not, like, You need to pause the movie and come back into main character energy and put on your
Mhm.
own costume, you know?
Mhm.
You are
Yeah.
in the driver's seat. So if it were ever to get to that place that's really scary and in a not so great way, in the trauma-inducing way rather than the, you know, growing sort of
Mhm.
way, you're in control of the trajectory of that.
Mhm.
It doesn't have to
It's
be awful.
yeah, it is scary to think of getting out of your comfort zone and it changing you, but it's also so exciting to think because so much of me getting outside of my comfort zone made me it did change me, but it made me better.
Yeah.
And so, I have thought about what if a lot of people decide to listen to this podcast and I got recognized in public or you know what I mean? Like cuz again, no matter how much I was always the person who wanted to be behind the scenes, I am more comfortable being in front of people now,
Mhm.
but my goal is not to be famous ever.
I don't wanna
Like
be famous. I don't actually want that. Yeah.
that scares the living shit out of me that other people would have opinions about me. Other people would hate on us and like that just that none of
Yeah.
that is exciting, but I love these conversations. I love our guests. It all feels worth it. And so we're just sitting out here outside of our comfort zone,
Yeah.
and hoping for growth. I think that there's already been a lot of growth here since we took the leap to do this. A
Absolutely,
lot of it.
absolutely, and,
Mhm.
you know, we don't live in our analytics, you know, I'm not watching it going, "Oh, I wish we had more followers," things like of course, we want people to follow, we want people to be watching it and engaged and enjoy it, but, like, as long as we keep bringing on really great guests and we're learning from some really powerful women,
Yeah.
and if this is doing as much for other people who are listening as it's doing for me, then it's worthwhile. But like you, like I don't necessarily want to be recognized in a grocery store or have so many haters, whether it's online or, you know, in what I've seen is like when you dive off into something and see some crazy success, especially something like this, whether it's like social media influencing and things like that, the
Mhm.
haters that come after you typically are people on the fringes of your actual life first. And that feels yucky to me. I don't want that. That is definitely a fear.
Yes,
And I don't want fame at all. Like I just flat don't want it.
mm-mm.
But even if I did, I don't know if it's worth that cost.
Mhm. No, there's a lot of you said there's a fear and why people stay stuck of failing but it's also of judgment. A lot of people are afraid of
Oh
judgment
yeah.
and that's why they stick around in the comfort zone. I was I mean, I think that that was always my biggest fear whenever I was younger. I didn't want to be judged. I was the kind of person who I'm like I'm not gonna buy that hat that I love because I'm afraid that people are gonna think that I'm trying to be something that I'm not, and it's like, no one would have even noticed because no one knows my style, like,
Because
I
no
know
one
my personal
cares
style.
really at the
No,
end of the day.
no, and there probably would have been a couple people who would be like, "That's a dumb hat," right? Because everyone has a different fashion sense and
Yeah, but so what?
yeah, but I was afraid that I was gonna be judged for not being authentically myself. And so my comfort zone and has very much continued to be plain Jane
Uh-huh.
when it comes to the way that I dress and the way that I present myself. And it's a way to blend in.
Yeah, it's the wallflower aspect of things where
Maybe that's the next thing that I do is just not get rid of my grayish, blackish, beige
we're just gonna add some
closet.
color to your
Yeah,
closet.
add some color because seriously when you wear a bright color, people you stand out, right? And that's why I haven't done it. But there are beautiful dresses, let's say, that are colorful and I want to push myself to wear stuff like that because it does make me happy to
Yeah.
look at those types of things. But I've always been like, oh, people are going to notice that I'm not wearing
Yeah,
light
you're not
pink
trying
or
to turn heads and
no,
yeah.
but it's because it's uncomfortable to me, right?
Mhm.
I don't know. There's so much so much that can go along with this,
But
but
it would be really interesting to see, like, at your next formal event, if you were to buy a bolder ensemble of sorts and see what comes of that. Like, walk into the discomfort a little bit and see the difference in how your night goes and how you carry yourself in a crowd. And it may be one of those things where you're like, yep, well, tried it, that goes on my don't do again list. Or it could be like, oh my gosh, my personality shines when I walk into a room in a bright yellow dress. I have no idea, you
yep.
know, check it
Mhm.
out.
I agree with that. And I think because you gave me permission to do that, that is, I think so many people probably just need
The
permission to get out
encouragement,
of their comfort
yes.
zone.
Yeah,
Yeah, and that kind of leads into our our boss that we had for most of the time that we were in our corporate job. She wanted us to be as far outside of our comfort zone as possible, and it was because she knew that that's where growth happens. And I don't think that she was always like, I think that with me she probably was trying to make me uncomfortable because she's like, girl, can you be any more inside of a shell? but
but
I
she
think
saw something in there that she wanted to pull out, and that was her superpower.
hmm and so she did nothing but push us outside of our comfort zone.
Mhm.
She gave great feedback, but then it was like on to the next bigger thing, and now you're in charge of this, and you're like, okay, I could do that, or
Yeah.
I can't freaking do
And she'll
that.
go, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, you're going to."
Yeah, and it's like you're gonna speak in front of 200 people at this next meeting, and you're like, why would you have me do that? And she's
Yeah.
like, because that's my comfort zone. And she never said this, but it's
Right,
like,
but you know it is because she was powerful at that.
yeah. So if she's going, this is my comfort zone, I need to pass it on to you, get you uncomfortable out there until now that becomes your comfort zone and you can move on to the next step that is bigger. But I felt, I mean, she was all about experiences and growth and personal development and all of those things, right? So this, I mean, it was basically her, what she made her job to grow these people. I know for a fact that I wouldn't be able to have started my business without all of that because
100%. Yeah, we
I
would
wouldn't have even
neither one
been
of us
able
would
to,
be sitting right here where we were.
no, I wouldn't have even been able to network my business if I
Mhm.
hadn't worked for her. I mean, it's a possibility, but I would have had to push myself. And I needed her to push me for a long time before it started being my idea to push myself.
Yeah, and it's
And
really interesting that you say that because I think that in that role specifically, working for her, she was so good at, like, figuratively, shoving us off cliffs of comfort of like, "No, no, you're gonna do this. Here you go." And I did get addicted to that, but I was only really able to do those things because she was leading me to do it. Like, I needed her push to push me out of my comfort zone into something that I didn't even know that I wanted. And I think that one of the things that I've had to learn that has not come as naturally to me in leaving that role in that position, working for a boss like that and being outside of the corporate environment is having to literally step off the cliff rather than being shoved, right? And that takes a whole different level of courage and bravery.
it does. But since it does become addicting to try new things, to really work those stretch goals as opposed to just the normal goals that would be expected of
Mhm.
somebody in a job, I all the time push myself. Tomorrow, I have a presentation. It'll be my longest presentation that I've ever made at an hour. I could talk all day about marketing. It's my comfort zone. I like everyone I see people post all the time. What could you talk about with no preparation for an hour? And I say marketing, all things marketing, social media, whatever. I can talk about that forever
You
because
can
it's
pull
what
it
I
straight out of your ass because you
mhm.
know it like the back of your hand.
Yes, I know how I feel about it. I know how to put it towards any audience. But I'm talking about getting comfortable outside of your comfort zone tomorrow. And that's what brought this up. I'm talking about this because I set a goal to get way out of my comfort zone and do a TED Talk. Within 5 years, I did not do that.
Still on the list, though, just because you
It
didn't hit the
is.
timeline doesn't mean the goal goes away.
No, I put starting a business in front of that, and now I'm back on this goal to make this happen. I've restarted the clock, but I wanted my TED Talk to be about getting comfortable outside your comfort zone because figuring that out with the shoves from our boss and then the shoves from the team since I left corporate, you guys are still
We're still a
encouraging
team,
me and
weirdly.
giving permission so much, and then how it became natural for me to want to do those things on my own, and because it got addicting because I saw so many great results,
Yeah,
and
because every time that you stepped into it, you didn't die.
mhm, I didn't die, and I got better and happier and more successful or whatever it is. I don't know. I could talk all day long about how impactful it is to not let yourself rot in a comfort zone.
Yeah,
I would have been
complacency kills all inspiration. And if you're one of those people that likes to be in control of 100% of your life, like, no judgment, I can relate. I like the control of it, but I also I think that you don't have to let go of being in control. You have to, like, lead the fear or follow the fear rather into the right direction and be in control of your growth rather than letting fear be in control. It's like it's that illusion, right? It's an illusion of safety to be in your comfort zone because you feel like you're in control of what's going on, but really you're letting fear be what's in control of where you
mhm,
could take things to the next level.
mhm,
And I think that too often we get to a level that feels good enough and then things get easy and you get comfortable with things being easy. And it's like when you stop going to the gym after a while and then you have to go back, it's way harder, you know? And all you can think about is how your muscles hurt and you don't want to do this and you're out of breath and all the things. It's not until you really get back in the momentum that it gets addicting again and it starts to feel good to burn a little bit.
mhm. Yep,
And so it's about setting those same habits too, like continually pushing yourself rather than allowing yourself too much rest is not a good thing.
mhm. And to go along with that, I think that some people can push themselves to do this.
Yeah.
But you might be somebody who can't push themselves to do this, right? Not right.
I
Not
need a
everybody
partner.
is
That's why I
mhm.
got you.
Yeah. But not everybody is self-motivated in that way, or they have had it not work, right? Like, we all push ourselves sometimes and then fail, or it doesn't grow you in any way, and then you're
Mhm.
like, "I just really like it here." Because if you've been burned before, it's harder to launch yourself. I don't think that that is specifically your reason, but I think some people can get more comfortable in the comfort zone than other people. And find yourself a partner, an accountability partner, somebody who will
It's
push
someone that's
you.
gonna be a cheerleader too. Like sometimes it's not about like, you said you were gonna do this, now let's get up and do it. Sometimes it's
Mhm,
like, no, you really should. This could be really great. Like, get
mhm,
excited. Somebody to be excited with you and to be the cheerleader of what it is that you're accomplishing. And it's like, okay, so you want to go run a marathon and you fell down and skinned your knees? That's cool. Like, do you want me to fall down so we have matching scabs? Like, okay. You know what I mean? Like to make it okay to try for the success or to make it okay to fail because failing is part of succeeding. And I think sometimes you just need somebody else externally to validate that this is just part of the process. And
mhm,
I'm right here with you. You're not in this alone and scary. You're not failing and nobody's staring at you and pointing and, you know,
mhm,
the judgment aspect of things. Like you have somebody on your side. And if you have that, or if you need that, I would say that's step number one. Go find that person that's going to cheer you on the things that you want to do in a way that's going to inspire you to just put one foot in front of the other. Because as you sit in that complacency, that comfort zone will eat you alive,
mhm.
literally.
And this person will also help mitigate so much of the imposter syndrome
Mhm.
that comes because you know at least one person thinks that you can do this and thinks that it's a good idea and wants you to succeed and will help you towards that. I truly believe in this. You have to, if you're not willing to step into the discomfort that this will cause intentionally by yourself, then this person is needed. And if you don't have a person like that in your life, send us an email and we will be that person and we'll be like, no, you can do it. You can do it
Yeah. Our friend
because,
basket is not full. We
yes,
still have room. Come on in.
we're still
The
looking
water's
for a
fine.
therapist friend. If
Yeah.
you have been listening for a long time, still don't have the
Seriously.
therapist friend, just kidding.
No, you're not. We want
No,
one.
I'm not.
We
No,
want
I'm
one.
not. No, I'm not. I'm
No,
not
but, like,
kidding.
in all seriousness, like, I think that the comfort zone is just a trap, and fear can be a motivator or it can be, a debilitator, and it just depends on how you wanna look at it. Like, it's that frame of mind, it's a choice, it's courage, it's bravery, like, just figure it out, man.
Yeah, and
I
start
feel like I'm looking
small.
in the mirror when I say that too.
Yes, yes. Start small with those things. It can be something as small as you've been wanting to change your style a little bit, but you felt like people were going to feel like you were weird for doing that.
Mhm.
Wear the dumb hat that you want to wear. Put on the bright colored
Yeah,
shirt, wear the mini skirt, whatever it is,
yeah.
and then work on the things that are actually a little bit more difficult because it's all going to help you grow.
Yeah, and make that list, that never say never list. I think that's
Mhm.
really, illuminating to determine,
Mhm.
like, what kinda things are you open to in your future, and what's on your actual never list? And how can you put one foot in front of the other to start to become that version of yourself that you really wanna be? And what needs to go on each of those lists to make that possible?
And as you start to dwindle down that never say never list, as you change and grow, see if anything from the never list makes its way back
Pops.
over. Because, like I said, there are a lot of things that I would have said never.
And
Now,
suddenly, it's on your to-do list.
it is. And I obviously have a probably similar path that other people have taken of I was so shy and I couldn't imagine doing a lot of things that put myself out there. I think that I run into people all the time who are like, I was so shy. I'm like, girl, me too. So shy. So I can tell you that you can do all of those things. You can
Yeah,
bring yourself out of your shell. I got shoved by so many different people, but
and thank God.
yeah, I mean, I'm just so much more comfortable being alive, like than
Right?
I was. And so there has been growth there, but I love when someone says, "Oh my gosh, I never would have thought that you were a shy kid." And I'm like, I definitely was, but it means that I have overcome so much of that. And definitely not by myself, but it's been a road.
It definitely has. I will tell you, I think my biggest takeaway from this entire conversation, our conversations leading up to this, but as well as this one right here, is that the difference between comfort and discomfort, like comfort is the illusion of control, right? Like you're in control of what's happening. Discomfort is growth. And the only real difference between those two things is your own courage. Do you have the courage to become the person, the version of yourself that you want to be? Do you have the courage to do what that's going to take? It doesn't have to be huge things all at once, but like little by little. I don't think we have to put ourselves in a box and just stay there for funsies because it's not funsies.
Yep. And if you just answered, "I don't have the courage to do that," then let's find somebody who can help
Yeah,
you find the courage because
that's
we're
where you need
none
the
of us are
buddy.
in this alone.
Yep.
Absolutely. And again, if you literally have nobody, then message us and we will figure out how to help you through that because it is so much better over here.
It really
after,
is.
after you launch yourself out of that comfort zone.
I also wanna say, I wanna see some of these never say never lists. So, if you write yours, send us a DM or tag us. I would love to know, like, if you were inspired to start this list of things that you might be open to in the future, that could be your next steps. Write that list, tag us in it. I'd love to open that conversation.
Mhm. I love that, especially if they're funny, like my stupid swinger on the
Yeah,
never say never list.
idiot. I'm like, "Oh, I didn't know. Okay."
No.
I guess
No,
we'll see if
I
show
think
up to your
that
house with an upside down pineapple on the porch, I'll be like, "So that went on the list. Okay."
that same friend, she was in town for the weekend. Her and Mallory came down and we went to a concert and we were the ones having that conversation about Newtown being swinger central. And the next week I got a package in the mail and it was an upside down pineapple like garden thing that hung in your garden. I put it out there proudly
No, you
for the
didn't.
rest of it. It said welcome with a pineapple on it and I'm like, I think
We'll see
that
if anybody knocks on my door.
they didn't. They didn't. I don't actually know if there's swinger stuff going on in there, but I do know that I can have a sense of humor about it and not be
Yeah,
embarrassed about it like I once
yeah,
would have.
yeah.
So,
I think that's great.
it's
So
funny,
funny.
but if you have anything funny on your list or something, we would love to hear the first thing that you're going to do
Mhm.
off of that never say never list and anything that you have recently moved from the never to never say never. It's another step closer.
I know, I love it. What a great
Wonderful.
conversation.
I know. I love that. That was really fun. So, follow us on socials. Send this to a friend that might need
Yeah.
help launching out of the comfort zone, or if you want them to be your helper to help you get out of yours. And we'll talk to y'all next week.
Bye.
Bye.